So this is just a very quick tutorial on how to add closed captions. And then we're going to go take those closed captions, we're going to burn those into a file. And when I say burn those closed captions into the video or into the file, that means they are going to stay right where they're at, and you're not going to be able to take them down. They're going to stay there, creating a second file. And I'm going to also show you how to send both of those files over to Media Encoder so that you can have one file that has the closed captions burned into it and another that doesn't. And the one that doesn't, you'll be able to create what's called an SRT file. And that SRT file, when you upload that file to social media, you'll be able to open and close those closed captions. Okay, so let's start off here with creating our closed captions. What we're going to do is we're going to go under Window and Workspaces and come right under here to Captions and Graphics. Now our screen's going to go to something that kind of looks like this, right? And you'll notice down here what I have my video file and my audio file. I'm just going to select my audio file right here, and I'm going to go up to Create Captions because there's no captions available on this file, and we're just going to go ahead and create captions from a transcript, right? And it's going to give us this, right? So now we have Create Captions, and this is going to give us a bunch of options under here, right, under each one of these, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a subtitle, right? We don't really have to worry about any of these right now because we can change those later on, right? Format, we're just going to leave that as our subtitle, right? And style, it has no style that we can select, but we can change that in a little bit, right? So one of the things I like to do is I like to come down here under maximum length of characters and see that it reads 42, right? And then minimum duration of seconds that particular graphic is up for someone to read, right? Now sometimes those graphics, or the subtitle, the closed caption might be up there for a little longer depending on how long someone is speaking. But the shorter ones will only be up there for a minimum of 3 seconds. And then there's a gap between them, and we can fix this as well later on. You're going to notice that most movies have maybe either double or single lines. I'm going to select single lines because a single line of graphic, or closed caption is a lot easier for someone to read. So I'm going to select single, and I'm going to go ahead and create. And now, as you can see, Adobe pretty much went in here and created all of our subtitles or closed captions for us, right? And you can come right up to the top here, and we're going to look at our CTI. This is our CTI right here. And every time I come to a sentence, let me go to the very back here and show you what happens. I want to go right to 40 seconds and 12 frames. So all I have to do is click on it, and my CTI goes right to that portion of the video. And as I can see from the video here, that this is the farmer. And when I come up top here, I notice that his name is made a mistake, right? So that's going to happen. And when you do try to put in these types of closed captions and have Adobe automatically read someone's voice and create text from it, errors are going to occur, right? So his name is B.D. Douch. So I'm just going to come on here and say B.D. Douch. And I've made a correction. And as you can see, as I make those corrections are coming up automatically within the preview window. So there we go. All right, now let's just say that we're finished up with our graphics and here our little graphic text here. If I just select one single one, right, I can change just this one single portion. And over here I have a whole list of things that I can do with these subtitles, closed captions, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to make it easier to read, right? So one of the most common ones is Arial, right? That type of font. And let's see, I'm going to expand mine from 48. I'm going to expand mine all the way out to 65, right? To make this text up here bigger on the screen. Make it easier for people to read, right? Then you have align and transform. You can literally just move and move that text around automatically by just clicking on these little squares and keeping them basically centered. Or you could just do it freehand, which I really don't recommend that number. But okay, so also you can fill in the text to have it come in different colors. Just simply click in that white space of fill. Right? Let's see, we want to make it yellow. So then you get this little circle here and fill it in yellow and hit OK. And there you go. You've got yellow text if you wish. Generally, I keep it in white to suit what is always, mostly seen out there in the audio and visual world, right? So there we go. And we also have a little bit of shading to make it so if this guy's sleeve is white and the text is white, they won't bleed together. So we keep a little bit of a black shadow in there or the stroke. And you can also add a background, which pushes a little bit of a background all around the text there or the closed caption. So, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to export. Okay, and we have a number of things here to check out under export. And the first thing we notice here is this closed captions one is not marked off, and very important to make sure that is clicked on, and that you can either keep this in create a sidecar file or burn a file or whichever that you like, because we're going to send all of this to Media Encoder in a second here. But if this is not checked off, Media Encoder is not going to be able to create a sidecar file for you, right? So now we're going to open up Media Encoder. So now this is our project that is still opened up from Premiere. And I see that it's going to be exporting in H.264. It's got something custom there. And it's saving to the desktop, which, okay, let's just save it to the desktop so make everything nice and easy for us, right? So this is our file, all right? This should come up with a preview here of the file. And what we're going to do with this first one is we're going to create a sidecar file, right, for our closed captions. That's going to be a subrip or a subtitle format SRT, right? This is where you have your video file, and you also have this SRT file for when you upload to one of the platforms that are out there for social media, say Facebook or YouTube or what have you. And then I'm going to click OK down here, and that is my first video file that I'm going to be exporting. Now, notice here that adding source is the only option that you have highlighted or able to click on. I still want to use this same source or that open project that I have from Premiere, right? So that still needs to be the source. So I'm just going to click on this again, right? I'm going to click on this one more time, and then it's going to give me the option to add a second output, all right? So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me something very similar to it, right? But this time, I'm going to change a number of things here, right? I'm going to change the title, and I'm going to change the other number. Farmer Bob, I'm going to make him a fruit farmer here. I'm going to change that other one, too, here in a second. But let's get through this here. And what the fruit farmer video, right? I'm going to burn the closed captions right into the video. I'm going to show you the differences of these. I'm going to go one more time under this one. And I'm going to have this be called the Veggie Farmer. And save that one. Okay. So now we have two very different videos. One's the Veggie Farmer, one's the Fruit Farmer, and this one has this Fruit Farmer one has the closed captions burned into it, whereas the other one's going to create a sidecar file, right? So we're just going to go up here and push this little Start Queue button. All right, and now as you can see, both of these videos now are going to be processed and uploaded right over here onto our desktop. And that might take a few minutes. Okay. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and close out Media Encoder. And we have the Veggie Farmer. This is our sidecar file, right? That goes with the Veggie Farmer. So when we upload this to our platforms are going to give us the options to upload the captions so that you can take those captions on and turn them on and off. Okay, so that's how you add closed captions and how you're using your media encoder.